Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Let's Code Duke Nukem, where we aim to recreate the original EGA action platformer, released in 1991. Last time we added the jumping tech bot as the last remaining robot for level 1, so in order to complete level 1, Duke still has to destroy the blue spinning reactor that blocks his path to the exit. Now this will be an active tile that takes a bunch of hits to destroy, and it will kill Duke on touch. And the added challenge here is that its destruction sequence is pretty elaborate. But yeah, let's cause a meltdown. We are once again back at the Duke 1 level format on the DOS Game Modding Wiki, and let's find the tile ID for the blue spinning reactor. So here we already have it highlighted. It's the blue reactor 302B, and the graphics are located in the object files. So yeah, let's go into our active factory, and let's find the spot for 302B. So that's here. Over here, case 302B, and then let's have a new reactor XY, and let's move this guy over to here to keep the ordering nice. Let's create a new class in the enemies package, and yeah, let's super XY. Let's have some update code and some rendering code. Yeah, let's head over into the object file and let's find the reactor graphics. So here we can see some blue spinny stuff. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames total. And let's see, we have the flag here, I suppose. And then we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiles to the left of the flag. So let's go to the item class. Here we have the flag item. So 97 minus 7 is 90. So let's keep a private int frame counter, and the frame is 0. And then here we'll say that we have a renderer draw tile assets get object 90 plus the frame to get some animation going, X and Y. And let's get some behavior in there as well. If this guy touches Duke, Duke should die. So we'll make a kill method, I guess. And let's move this over to the hurt method. And we'll instantly set the health of Duke to -1. Okay, now in order to test this guy, he is hidden behind the red door. Now to avoid picking up the key every single time we want to test this, I'll just say that we always have all keys. Okay, so let's run the game and see if we can see some spinning reactor. So moving over to the left, we can see we have all 4 keys now. Okay, I forgot to update the frame, and looks like we need 2 more tiles here. Now we could do the same as the bridge and loop across like a vertical column until we reach a solid tile. But I think all reactors have the same layout, so I'm just going to stack 3 tiles on top of each other and call it a day. So let's head over to the reactor. Let's update the frame here, I guess. Frame is frame +1, and we said that we had 5 animation frames. So that's that. All right, let's test if this guy kills us when we touch it. And there we go. So that's working. Yeah, so like I said, let's stack 3 frames on top of each other. So let's have the sprite here. And then we'll draw 3 times the tile. So we have plus the tile size, and plus the tile size times 2. So this should draw 3, but we need to offset our Y position. So here we need to subtract the tile size, and we need to set the height as 3 times a tile size to get a nicely spinning reactor. Yeah, so let's take a look. Alright, now we can see it spinning, and it's looking pretty cool. Alright, so this guy can be, of course, destroyed. It takes 10 hits to destroy this thing, so let's give him a health. And I guess we'll do it above the frame here. So his health is 10. Can be shot. This guy can be shot as long as he has health remaining. And yeah, let's override the hit method and let's reduce some health. And when we hit this guy, we need to spawn some particles. So particle, create particle, state, X. And yeah, if you look at the original game, the particles will be spawned where the bolt hits the reactor. But we don't have that information here. So what I'll do is I'll just spawn the particles in the middle of the reactor for now. Now I made a little screen recording of the game, of the original game, as you can see here. And what happens when you hit the reactor, you can see that a white square is drawn. So that is something that we need to do as well. So here in the anim file, we can see there's a white square graphic just to the right of the window. So let's figure out the tile ID, the sprite tile index for this white square here. So in GFX we can find the window, like we have this resolve tile method. And then we have the right window with 265. So that means that if this thing is hit, then we want to get a different tile index, 265. So we need to keep track if this guy was hit or not. So that's here, and then in the hit method we'll set hit to true, and then after rendering we'll set hit back to false. Yeah, and then here we'll just check as long as health is greater than 0, this guy kills Duke and needs to spin around. So let's see if we shoot it 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you can see it's flashing. 7, 8, 10. I guess I miscounted there. And now we can jump through. Okay. Yeah, so that is the meat of the behavior of this guy. Of course, he has a very elaborate death, destruction, explosion. If you take a look at the original game footage here, we're spinning, and then at some point you can see starting to smoke, all kinds of spark and flashes and debris and all this stuff. So we're going to implement this explosion. Now you can see here these white circles, like is a new effect that we don't support yet. You can see that it starts out as a single little white square, circle, and then one frame nothing, and then the frame after that you can see there's a big circle. So we'll implement this effect right now. So if you go to the anim file, over to the left here, we can see these circle graphics. Yeah, so let's create this effect. So here, effects, and yeah, let's just go into the effect class here, and let's add it to the bottom, I guess. So public static class, and we'll just call it a flash. So public flash int x, y, and then super x, y, and then we need to figure out a tile index. And we saw that it exists for 3 frames. First frame with the little flash, then nothing, and then the big flash. So it's to the right of the little window, which is also in our GFX class here, which is this guy. So that's 215. Okay, so the tile index is 215. And then here in the render method, we need to check if the frame is exactly 0. Then we want to draw tile, get anim, tile index x and y. So this is the first small flash. Then frame 1 we draw nothing, and then frame 2 we want to draw the 4 parts of the big flash. So 2, 3, 4, and then this is top left and then top right. Then we have a bottom left and a bottom right. Okay, else if, of course. Okay, so in order to test this flash, we'll just go to our reactor class, and yeah, when we hit this guy, we'll spawn some particles, and we'll also spawn a flash. So state add effect new flash. Now we need to remove this once we verified that this works. And I forgot to update the frame. So you can always see stuff doesn't work even when you fully expect it to work. Frame ++. It's amazing how often you can repeat the same mistakes. All right, so here we can see that we need to adjust the XY position. Yeah, so that's here. So int x is x minus 8. And the same goes for y, to make sure that we keep it centered around the same middle point. Okay, so that is the flash. So let's create the big destruction sequence. So in order to do that, what we need to do is keep a counter, because it's a timed event. So let's see, destruction is -1. Guess we can set hit to false here. All right. Yeah. So let's remove this flash effect here. So here on hit, what we can do is we can check if health is exactly 0. Then we'll set the destruction counter to 0. And this will start the sequence. So here, what we can say, if the destruction counter is greater than or equal to 0, then we need to do some sort of a destruction sequence method. Else, if health is greater than 0, then we want to do the stuff. And I guess we can do this check in the update method as well. Might make a bit more sense to have all this logic in the same method rather than spread around. Okay, so if the destruction is triggered, then handle it in a different method. We'll make that in just a second. Otherwise, if the health is exactly 0, then trigger the destruction. And in all other cases, when health is greater than 0, then we need to just spin around and kill Duke on touch. So that's pretty cool. So let's make this method here. All right, so yeah, if we take a look at the destruction sequence, one of the things that we see at the start, at least, is that the bottom of the reactor starts smoking. So we can make that right now. So that is if the destruction every 4 frames, we want to add an effect, new smoke x minus 8, y plus 32, because our y is here, so plus 16 plus 32, and the smoke is off to the left and to the right. So that's the second frame here. So here we can say, and this needs to be offset by 2 frames, so else if this %4 is exactly 2, then we want to spawn it over to the right. So this should get the stuff to smoke. Let's increment the destruction counter. And so after an amount of ticks, so let's switch the destruction counter. Let's say 34 ticks. That's the end. It just explodes, and we get some points. And we need to remove this guy, so we'll set active to false, and we'll say state.increase score by 20,000, and we'll add some scoring effects as well. So that is new effect dot score x minus 8, y plus 16, 10,000, and we'll do this twice to the left and to the right, so minus and plus. Yeah, and let's add a debris for good measure. New debris at this position here, I guess. All right. So let's take a look. Okay, there we see it smoking, and it goes away, debris and some points. All right, so yeah. So now all we got to do is go over it frame by frame, and add all the various effects. Like you can see, for example, here after 6 frames, there's a spark over to the middle left. So case 6, state add effect, new spark, x minus 16, y plus 16, you know. And yeah, this is pretty boring stuff. So what I'll do is I'll speed up this segment of the video and just add in all the effects at the appropriate times. So I'll just go through the video, count some frames here. And yeah, here we can see 2 of our flashes being added and a couple of sparks. So yeah, let's add those. And those were 6 frames later. And like I said, I'm going to speed up this part of the video, so bear with me. Yeah, so let's take a look at what we got here. Let's see if we have a nice destruction explosion that kind of resembles the original game. Now we have everything hard-coded here, which I hope the original game has hard-coded as well. I haven't actually checked other explosion sequences. But yeah, I think this looks pretty good. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I'm not sure. I don't think it's random at all. And if it is, then we'll take a look at that later. So for now, I think this is pretty cool. So yeah, that's the reactor. All right, we will take some time to reorganize our level loading code because yeah, it's a bit of a mess right now. We are all over the place. We're here in the resource loader copying tiles and adding actives, and then we have some checks for some specific tile IDs here, and then some more here in the active factory. So I think what we'll do is we'll move over this specific processing of the level data into the level class and handle it over there. I think that makes a bit more sense than doing everything here. So yeah, let's head over to the level class here. And what we'll do is we'll introduce a new constructor here. So let's just generate a constructor with the bare minimum. And then let's invoke some sort of an init method, private void init. And then we can say like, all right, let's create a new array list of active classes. And then immediately what we'll do is we'll take this sort method as well and make sure that we sort it after we're done adding to these actives. Then we'll make a method that says like add some sort of an active class to a specific location, active. So here we can say actives.add the actual active. And then here we should copy over the tile. So what we'll do is we'll create a consumer that takes in integer, and then this is the background tile. And then here we can just say like accept some sort of a background tile. We'll do everything here within this level. Yeah, so we'll make a private void a copy tile method that says like from to. And then here we can say tiles2 equals tiles from. And then I guess this can be then copy tile. No, it cannot because it takes a specific tile ID here. So this is fine. So we have a copy tile. Then we'll have a couple of consumers. That says like this copy no tile is location do nothing. I think it's a slim arrow. And then we have the copy left tile, which is the one that will probably do most, which will be tiles location -1. So tiles equal tiles location equals tiles location -1. And then we'll have copy top tile, that is -width. Then we have copy right tile, that is +1. And then we'll have copy bottom tile, and that is plus the width. All right, so then we can copy specific tiles. Now, there are also actors that want a super specific tile as their background tile, and we'll just do that in line at the correct spot. So here we have copy tile with all the stuff that we need. So what we'll do here is we'll loop through all the tiles. And then we'll say switch tile ID, I'm guessing. So let's see, integer tile ID is tiles I. And I guess we just take it from the resource loader here. So we need to do basically what the active factory does here. And so let's see, what we'll just do is we're just going to copy over this whole thing, and we're just going to put it here. So switch tile ID is this whole stuff. Yeah, so let's see, do we need to sort this a bit? 16, 17, 18, D, E, F, 23, 29, A, B, C, D, E. No, I think this is looking pretty okay. All right, yeah, so then what we should do is say add the active. Now the elevator, oh, and we need of course X and Y. So where do we calculate an X and a Y? That is here. So let's just do that for every single tile ID. Just calculate where it lives in the world. Now an elevator copies no tile because that is its own proper tile, and we need to pass in the location. So that is that. So yeah, I'm liking it. So what we need to do is add all these actives with the correct copy statement. So let me just copy all these add active statements so that we can keep on going. All right, the keys are actives as well, and the doors. Now we need to pay attention with the doors and the locks because they have a custom set of background tiles. So that is something we need to remember when we do this here. But now because we're doing it like this, I think we can even get rid of those public static and just have the numbers coded in here. All right, now let's copy over the correct tiles. So these robots have the left tile here. So let me just get this in there. The camera copies the tile beneath it, the bottom tile. Yeah, this box copies over his left tile. And it looks like these are package protected, so let's make these public. And there we go. Let's see, Ed should probably copy over the left tile as well. A flamethrower facing the right should copy over the tile to the right. Copy right tile. Oh, this guy facing left is the left tile. This should be left. So hopefully I can just... There we go. Wall crawler facing right should be the right tile. Chicken is left. These items. Yeah, so let me just copy over the left tile and fix these imports. Left, 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 left. Most is left, that's why we had it as the default in our resource loading. But it was overwriting certain other tiles. Especially this was noticeable with the background windows. Alright, key should be left. But now we got the door. And a door, if we go to our resource loader, we've made some exceptions here for the door. So we gave them specific tile IDs. So let me put that in real quick. So that is a location, and then we'll say that tiles location should be the door dot red door tile ID, and then this should be L. All right, and then green is the green door tile ID, and the blue, magenta. Same for the lock. So here we'll say a red lock tile ID. Let me just copy over this here. And let's not forget the parentheses. This should be the green lock, blue lock, and the magenta lock. And then let's take over the left copying again for the football, chicken, soda, floppy, joystick, flag, radio, mine. These are upward facing spikes, so this should copy the top tile. And downward facing spikes should copy the bottom tile. All right. Then we have a few tile IDs left in the resource loader that we did externally, like outside of the Active Factory stuff. So that's the 3032 start location. Now we're not adding that as an actual active. So let's just say start location is I, and then here we'll just say that we want to copy the left tile. So then we'll just do it like this. And then we have the bridge, which makes its own, like it copies its own stuff. So that's 3019. So let's move that over to the correct spot here. 3019. Add active I bridge dot create I tiles, and then we'll copy no tile, and yeah, that should be it. We might be able to optimize this a bit better now that we do it in here, but for now I'll just take it over like it is. And then the bricks, they don't copy anything either. So that is here. Add active bricks and copy no tile. I guess the best what we can do is already copy over the background brick. Basically what we do here. But yeah, I think we'll just keep it at copy no tile and let the active class handle it for himself. Okay, yeah, so we got some compile problems here. Yeah, missing some parentheses. All right, let me just put that in. And yeah, so we have item here that's not public. So I guess we need to do it like this. Then we can get rid of the active factory, delete anyway. And then in the resource loader, we can also just drop this whole loop here. We can drop the sorting because everything is now being done in the level. So let's destroy this constructor, don't need it anymore. And then let's call it with our minimum variables here. And I think this should be hopefully a better way of loading the level. Here you can see the windows are back in effect. So that's pretty nice. And yeah, it looks like everything is still looking okay. Let's just check if the bridge is still functioning properly. And let's see if the bricks are also still functioning. There should be some windows here as well, which looks pretty good. Let's take a look at these flamethrowers. I'm liking it. Some more windows here. Okay, these bricks still work. How about this elevator? Yeah. Yeah, so I think this is a lot better way of loading up the level. So yeah, the resource loader just takes in the raw data, and then our level just initializes it by taking the data that it gets and just reorganizing the structure, making the correct classes and copying over the tiles or assigning the tiles. So yeah, I think that is pretty nice. So that's one good refactoring that we've done. Definitely simplifies stuff. All right, so that's it for this episode. We added the reactor as the final obstacle for Duke to exit the level. Now, the actual exit to the level is still something we need to build. So let's do that next episode. We'll exit the level and go to the information screen and yeah, display some of our bonuses that we've collected. Now we're not tracking these bonuses yet, but I think we should be able to manage. So yeah, join me for that one. If you have any questions about this episode or anything prior, feel free to put them in the comments down below. And if you like the series, then yeah, hopefully you can drop a like and a subscribe. All right, catch you guys next time.